Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and ask ourselves whether or not they can be worth investing in. Today, we'll be looking at this delicious project called Luxo. Now, if you guys like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing, and also commenting if you have some really sweet things to say. If, let's say, you disagree with anything I say in this video, or maybe I've misrepresented some truth, then please feel free to comment those as well. But please be nice on the comments, do not be rude, because we want to create a really healthy and really constructive community from here. Anyway, one more disclaimer: this is not to be considered as financial advice, should not be used for inspiration, educational, and entertainment purposes. So, sorry, just feeling a little bit sickish. So today we will be looking at Luxo. So let's have a look at where the price movement has gone. So it's gone from 0.2, 0.3. It's had its all-time high at around about 39, which would have been quite a massive X. That's more than 10, but like 100x, something like that. Yeah, so let's actually find out what exactly Luxo does. So from the brief description which we see from CoinMarketCap, it says Luxo is a multiverse blockchain network where the worlds of fashion, gaming, design, and social media intersect. Luxo focuses on bringing blockchain to the masses through its smart contract-based blockchain, industry involving standards, processes, and an innovative new direction of decentralized applications. So this coin is within one of the higher market caps, which we'll be having a look at. So it's currently ranked 270 under the tokens, and its market cap is 212 million. So it's quite high, and we currently have a max supply of 100 million, and in circulation we have 15 million. Now this is what we can see on Etherscan when it comes to these main sort of holders, these main wallets. So what we can see here is the top three are actually assigned to smart contracts, and so you can have a look at the various contracts there as well. So yeah, as we can see, so the first three are smart contracts, and also there is another smart contract on Uniswap as well. I'm not exactly sure how to sort of pronounce the actual name of the token. I'm going to assume it's LYXe. LYXe, sorry, that's probably not very good. But yeah, so I think that in terms of these smart contracts, I would imagine that they would be able to be distributed quite equally, but we'll be having a look at some other statistics as well. And as you can see, the number 4 and number 5 are associated with KuCoin. So I think that the majority of the fact that no wallet has more than 5%, and I believe that BSC Check or Token Sniffer will actually mention this, the fact that no wallet has more than 5% is very attractive, and something which we are definitely interested in. So I forgot to mention that the coin is currently sitting at $14. So BSC Check, so we can buy it, we can sell it. The contract owner is not renounced, but that's not really uncommon. And as we can see, so there's not really much to worry about here. So it says risky, but it doesn't seem to feel that risky to me, mostly because of the fact that we are sort of sitting under smart contracts. And so this is a 60 out of 100, which is also one of the higher numbers. The only real concern which this mentions is that it says that at least 95% of liquidity burned / locked. So not enough liquidity. If it is not locked / burned, it could allow for significant amounts to be removed or having a rug pull. So that's a little bit of that. Unicrypt. So what does Unicrypt say about it? It says no token locks for this token. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, and so it says it currently has liquidity between ETH with 600 and 2,000. So then we have a look at some of the Reddit stats. So this is from the Luxo Reddit board. So they've got about 2,700 subscribers. As we can see, they've had a sort of steady upward trend, reaching toward earlier January this year. But that's sort of taken them about maybe 1.5 years to actually reach that level. And then we have comments per day. So there hasn't really been that much happening within 2019 and 2020, but we've seen a bunch of talk about that as well, especially, and then this would have been during the all-time high, I imagine. So November, yep, so that was around October / November last year when they were sort of talking about that all-time high. And everybody probably would have been freaking out because, you know, it would have dipped pretty hard as well, because as you can see, we went from $19 Sorry, $28 down to about 17. So yeah, that probably would have made a bunch of people nervous. And then we have posts per day. So also pretty standard, but as we can see in the last 12 months, it has been where it sort of had the most social kind of growth. And yeah, so there's probably some news where it's been talking about that. In terms of the actual comments on the Reddit page, it doesn't really look like there's sort of many bot comments. A lot of people are sort of just actually talking about the project in a genuine manner. Yeah, it seems that this person Yamcha, who was the one that wrote the post, has been responding to quite a lot as well. So that would have probably attributed to the comments per day as well. But this is something interesting. So this is one of the posts which I found. Should Luxo holders be concerned about this potentially taking the market? So Facebook and Instagram are reportedly working on a platform that will allow you to create, display, and sell NFTs. This will become the standard over time. The amount of user interest, economic value, and global impact is too large for large tech companies to ignore. I love this comment here. There is no mainstream interest. Yeah, so this could be something which has the potential to, I guess, drop the price. But here's something interesting, which one of the commenters said. They said Luxo doesn't have a functioning product, so we should be worried about all potential competitors. Exactly. So yeah, so I think that a part of this could just be maybe like a buy the news, sell the story. Yeah. So I think that's how the phrase goes. You sort of buy that kind of jazz. So these are the Twitter social stats. As we can see, in the last 30 days, they have reached 2,300, but they have 39,000 followers. So about less than a fifth, less than an eighth, maybe, have actually been in the last 30 days. So in terms of its sort of social growth, it's still kind of steady-ish. It's not sort of too heavy. A lot of the things which they've retweeted involve this chick Anna Tutova. Anna Tutova. Please excuse me if I'm going to mispronounce any names. Well, actually, no, I take that back. It looks like she's the only person that I can see there as well. So yeah, it looks like a bunch of this is sort of just maybe talking about partnerships or talking about ways which they're moving within the industry. And when I did have a look at the comments, it didn't look like I could see any sort of like great spam comments or anything. So looking at the Google Trends, we have, actually I'll add one more here. So I did add it, but it doesn't really look like there's been sort of much search going on for it. LYXe, or, beg your pardon. I take that back, I just misspelt it. My apologies. So yeah, so as we can see, it sort of had a few ups and downs during these moments. We did have a majority search for March, and we also had the one which happened during the October sort of space. In the last 90 days, so this may also include October again. Yep, so it includes that. But let's have a look at how it's been doing in the last 30 days. So in the last 30 days, January 7th, which was a few weeks ago, and also early in December as well. So I believe that this sort of earlier in December would have probably been a part of the coming down of from the October business. So this is a part of their white paper. And one reason why I have this page is because we can have a look at a little bit of the tokenomics. Now, one thing which I find a little bit contradictory is this page talking about its tokenomics versus this page's tokenomics. So it's on something called rico.luxo.network, and this is also the luxo.network white paper. So as we can see, so it says 59% of the ecosystem incentivization. And then as we can see, we actually have a whole bunch of others within here as well. So we have future development, we have reserve pool, we have community DAO, we have grant program, we have public sale, we have another public sale, which was the first batch and second batch, and then the KuCoin IEO, which we're already on KuCoin as well. I actually didn't mention what sort of exchanges we're currently on. So we're currently on KuCoin, Uniswap, and Gate.io, which is fabulous. And yeah, so looking at some of these and sort of seeing, so founders and collaborators, it's interesting how it says 5%, because when we did have a look at Etherscan, nobody really owned that amount of money. So one of these was actually regarding a deprecated reversible ICO. I did look into it briefly, but I'm still unsure as to what that purpose is. So if anybody did want to elaborate on that, that would be really awesome. So they do have a really cool Discord community as well, from when I was briefly chatting with them. Yeah, so I just sort of find it quite interesting how, like, so they've got like public ICO, IEO, private sale, and then founders and collaborators and future development. So it seems as though this one here may be a little bit more meshed out, but this could be the old one and this could potentially be the new one, because this one was done on February 10th, 2020. And then so this probably would have been done around a similar possible time. Well, actually, this one has 2021 dates, but one thing about this is that when you actually have a look at some of the actual roadmap which this has been going through, we don't actually have a roadmap for 2022, which is pretty concerning, especially when you're sort of looking at investing into a coin, not being able to actually find the roadmap for that. Yeah, so I did try to have a look at a few other links as well. So this is another one, so an update on the road to mainnet. And so they talk about a little bit of their current status, and so they sort of talk about the first, second, third, so what comes next, and then finally prepare for the mainnet launch. So it's a bit of a bummer that we don't have ETAs from what I have seen. Yeah, so that's I don't want to say red flag, but it's a reason which makes me not want to invest into it as much, because we can't see that. I'll keep these pages open for once we do our final review. So these are some of the partners who they actually have. So they have One Protocol, they have Ariani, they have Stake, Capital, Authentic, Reflaunt, and The Fabricant. And they've also got other associations as well, so you might recognize some of those names here. And I won't be reading those out, so we go to another page as well. But I don't really recognize any/many of those partnerships. This also gives another brief explanation of what Luxo is. So Luxo is a blockchain infrastructure providing a series of standards and solutions for physical and digital consumer goods in order to foster transparency, circularity, and new forms of responsible production and consumption. Luxo is the next big project by the creator of ERC20 and ERC725, a network dedicated to moving blockchain beyond DeFi. So that's one really impressive thing, is that we have the creator of ERC20 and ERC725. That is one of the probably most bullish reasons for, if you were to invest into this project, for why you would invest into it. Now, this is also one of their white papers as well. As you can see, this is also 2020 as well. But this is, so usually when it comes to looking at white papers, one thing which you usually want to look at is it too short? Is it like, let's say, I don't know, under 10 pages or even under 20 pages? Sometimes that can be sort of too short. But anything which is too long and too long-winded can also be a put-off. Like, so I just think that like the fact that most of these are just like a whole bunch of extra writing things, but they've also got random little pictures throughout it, which I think is kind of funny and kind of fun, kind of funky in its own little way. So I think that maybe most of this might have been written by the fellow who was the creator of the ERC20, and yeah, so, or maybe it might skip some pages or something, because yeah, I'm not entirely sure why it is this massive, but yeah, that kind of puts me off a little bit, is if it is too complicated for the standard person to be able to understand, or be able to sort of understand the reason why they should get into it, for instance. Yeah, so that can also be a bit of a concern as well. So we have a look at some of the other details as well. So we have a look at the founders. So we have Fabian and Marjorie. So Fabian is a blockchain veteran who was part of the Ethereum Foundation in its early days. From 2015 to 2018, he helped shape the Ethereum space, which, as we know, that would have been a part of its sort of big, I guess, momentous time. was sort of when Ethereum was doing that. And Marjorie, who is also a product expert as well, who deals with innovation, and she's a designer and an entrepreneur. So we'll have a look at their LinkedIns to see what they say about them. So this fellow Fabian, one thing I really like about him is that he has had a bunch of interviews. So he is no way near wanting to hide his face. So first of all, if anybody thinks that this project is a rug pull, I do not think it is a rug pull. From what I have seen and from the stats which I have seen, I would not call this a rug pull. Yeah, just in case anybody is sort of wondering or concerned by that. Especially because, as we can see, the main top 3 wallets are literally smart contracts. So so I'm not too concerned about that personally. But as we can have a look at some of his background, so he's been doing Luxo since November 2017, and he's been with Ethereum, so he's done the Mist browser, Ethereum wallet, Web3.js developer. So he's been doing that from 2015 to 2018. He's also been a web developer and web designer for a few other companies as well, including Tuned in Media. And for Marjorie, so both of these people are in Berlin. So she's been a board member for Buttersblock. She's been a part of the Dematerialized. So she's the co-founder and the chief product officer for them as well, and she's still currently with Luxo as one of the founders and one of the managing partners. And she was a chapter ambassador for Singularity University, and she was also she was also an innovation lab manager for EY. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So yeah, I think that these guys do have enough experience under their belts to tell us that they aren't going to sort of go and run away. I would be interested as to know maybe why Fabian decided to leave Ethereum. So if anybody does know, that would be awesome, because I'm not really interested in watching like many 4-hour interviews with him to be able to sort of find that out. Well, I mean, probably 1-hour interviews, but yeah, it might just feel a little bit longer. So we also have some advisors as well. So we have Daniel from Nike, Dr. Bernd from Chanel, and then we have we also have Eric from Chanel as well. So I'm not really reading their full names, as you can see, but you can sort of see the full names here. We do have sort of various LinkedIns and also Say Who as well. In terms of the actual people who are also the advisors for the company, wait, I saw that Nair Foundation CFO, my guy. I like the Nair Foundation. If you haven't seen my video on Nair, please watch it. It's really cool. I can link it up the top, and I also did another video recently on Energy Web as well. So anyway, I think that's really cool. I think that sort of kind of summarizes it a little bit. So here are my final thoughts on the project. I think if you want to invest, now is probably a decent-ish time to invest, because if we maybe have a look at a little bit on TradingView, we'll pull up the RSI because we like the RSI. I can imagine some people sort of hating me a little bit because I don't really look at the volume, but we can see the volume here in terms of the sort of sell and buy. So this goes all the way to July. So let's actually see if we can go back a little bit further. We'll go to February. So our sort of general support from the looks of it, we're probably, our resistance is probably something along, I'd say maybe $26, $25. That's probably maybe our like level of resistance, or something maybe like $22 even. But it doesn't look like we really have much support. I mean, Bitcoin, as you guys probably know, recently has gone down to like 38K or something like that. So I mean, yeah. So yeah, bearish, sell me all your Luxo. Bearish. So yeah, it does seem like it's probably broken through some level of support and resistance, but that is also because of where the general market is going right now, and the RSI is at about 35, which is generally a good time to buy. Or if you did want to buy, probably buy around maybe like, I'd say around the 12 sort of mark. So now is probably a really good time to sort of buy if you maybe want to sort of place some orders at like $12 or 11 or 10. In terms of its future, because I haven't seen a heck of a lot as to how this is changing the way that people do things. I haven't been convinced, so I'm personally not looking to invest into it right now. But I do think that the fact that we have Fabian behind the project is mega impressive. And I mean, as I say, this fellow was he literally played a big part in the whole Ethereum network, right? So I mean, but keep in mind that because this market cap is also quite high as well, and because it's also ranked quite high, then your sort of gains probably aren't going to look as much if you were to invest in this versus something which is maybe a little less down on the actual charts and everything. So yeah, so my red flags. There's not really many red flags, to be honest. Most of this is pretty solid. Like most of this is actually really solid. Also one other thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought that they might have actually shown the rest of the team on the page as well. So yeah, in terms of red flags, there's not really many. Yeah, either you can wait until they make a proper product. By that time, the coin would have probably burst and gone like mega high. But yeah, I think this could be a similar, without sounding too bullish, and saying that I'm also not interested in really investing in this product. This could be a sort of a similar Charles Hoskinson with a Cardano kind of project where it just sort of manages to flourish quite hugely. And this could be a really good time to invest. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that is my video. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you like what I have done, please consider liking and subscribing, because, it'll be nice to really continue to create and spread truth and be able to get these videos out there. And yeah, I would love to continue doing this as like a full-time thing for you guys. Also go to Patreon if you want to join it. Got a little Discord community, you can do video shout-outs, and you can also get early access to my videos as well, because I tend to schedule my videos. Yeah, and yeah, you can give me sort of other projects which maybe you might want me to look into all of your Inu projects and look into all of your dog projects. Doge. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you later.